So I'm here with American comedian Kurt Metzger, and Barack Obama gave a speech recently, and
how's he doing?
He's doing okay. Barack Obama's actually doing okay. Got I think he's got a $60 million book deal or something. The establishment has paid him well for his service.
Well, tell him I said hi.
And he's going to try. He's going to. This is this is called dressing up fascism and authoritarianism and censorship, things that are antithetical to the United States liberty and freedom and our Constitution and our way of life. But we're going to get a really sweet talking, good looking guy who's going to try to get his fascism in your pants. You want to see it? Here it comes.
People like Putin and Steve Bannon, for that matter, understand it's not necessary for people to believe this information in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with.
So he's already equating Trump's political advisor with Putin. This is his starting point. This American political operative who was an advisor to the last president is a traitor, horrible to our country, equal to our archenemy, Putin. That's his jumping off point. And he just kind of throws it out there.
See, I think Bannon was fired pretty early, too.
And of course he was. So here we go.
Raw sewage.
So he calls their speech raw sewage. Unlike when he said he wouldn't sign a healthcare bill without a public option and then did the exact same thing.
I guess unlike the drinking water of the people of Flint,
there's actually raw sewage in the drinking water of the people in Flint that he didn't fix and lied about and told them it was okay and left town. Those again, but he's not equivalent to Putin.
Raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe.
Former President Barack Obama coming to stat.
You mean like a conspiracy theory that, like, I don't know, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction? You mean that kind of conspiracy theory? You mean that, the one that leads to a war? You mean that kind of conspiracy? He doesn't mean that. He means the ones that debunk conspiracy theories. That's what he means. Like the ones who say, hey, he doesn't have weapons of mass destruction and we shouldn't be going. Like when they say, hey, Assad is not gassing his own people and we shouldn't be bombing that country or occupying it. He means like that. Believe me, they're not upset about lies. They're upset about the truth. The biggest liars are the government. The second biggest liars are corporate media. Barack Obama's not upset that Steve Bannon is lying. He's not upset that Trump is lying. He's upset that people like me occasionally tell a truth that pokes a hole in their narrative and fucks shit up. I'm people like Glenn Greenwald, Matt Taibbi, and even occasionally Trump, Tucker Carlson, and people like that. Tulsi Gabbard. That's the thing that they're not upset at Tulsi Gabbard for lying. They're upset at Tulsi Gabbard for telling the truth about the wars. So much so that they lie about her. They say she wasn't for Medicare for all when she was. You've heard that a million times. Of course she was. They have to lie to smear someone who's anti-war, which they always do. So here, Brock, what, you want to say something, Kurt?
Oh, I think there's jokes on it.
Yeah. So here, there's more coming.
The heart of Silicon Valley Thursday with a warning about the threat that disinformation poses to American democracy, putting Putin and Steve Bannon in the same sentence and saying he underestimated in 2016 how powerful conspiracy theories had become.
No one in my administration was surprised that Russia was attempting to meddle in our election. What does still nag...
Because we attempt to meddle in every election in every country in the world. So why wouldn't they...
And why should they be any different than every other country that does that?
And when he says by metal, he means troll farms who are trying to. That's what he means, because all they got is that couple of ads. Anyway, moving on.
He said spreads dirt in his thing about lies, so he threw in the lies. But he goes, they spread dirt. Like what? What do you mean dirt? You mean like stuff from like a hard drive or stuff that was true? The dirt on you?
The dirt? You mean the WikiLeaks emails that you want to now kill Chelsea Manning and Julian Assange for? You mean like that kind of disinformation? Because that's what they're upset at. They're upset at Julian Assange's truth. They're not upset at the lies. That no one ever accused Julian Assange of telling a lie. They're upset at the truth. That's why they're trying to kill Julian Assange right now. Not because of his lies. So everything he's saying is bullshit. Because Barack Obama is actually your enemy because he's the liar. Okay. Took us from 2 wars to 7. Barack Obama dropped more bombs than George Bush. He presided over the drone program, which killed 90% innocent people. He kicked 5.1 million families out of their house while giving trillions to Wall Street. He denied you a public option while enriching health insurance companies and big pharma. That's Barack Obama built the cages that Trump put those kids in. Barack Obama deported more Hispanics than Trump could ever dream of. That's who Barack Obama is. He's a pretty face of authoritarian fascism who is crushing the worker. That's who Barack Obama is.
Was my failure to fully appreciate at the time just how susceptible we had become to lies and conspiracy theories.
Those lies.
You mean like that sarin gas thing? Remember when Colin Powell held it up at the UN? Remember he said a teaspoon of this could kill hundreds of thousands of people? Remember? You mean a lie like that? Or a lie like we have to go get Gaddafi in Libya to help the people? You mean a lie like that? Which lie? The 20-year war in Afghanistan, which the Afghan papers revealed was one big lie? One big fucking cash scam?
Conspiracy theory is still very much alive in the U.S.
We just saw a sitting president deny the clear results of an election.
You mean the way you guys did when Trump beat Hillary Clinton? Because that's what you did for 4 years. So it's okay for Barack Obama to say Russia overthrew our government in 2016. But it's not okay for Trump to say that his election wasn't on the up and up. But it's okay. So it's just Trump's lie is bad. Why? Because Trump wasn't a natural Republican or Democrat, and he didn't serve either party specifically. He was an outsider, and they can't have that. They can't have people who aren't sanctioned and controlled by the parties, which is just meaning they're sanctioned and controlled by the corporation. That's what this is about.
And help incite a violent insurrection at the nation's capital. Social media did not create racism or white supremacist groups. All these things existed long before the first tweet or Facebook poke. Solving the disinformation problem won't cure all that ails our democracies or tears at the fabric of our world.
What did he just say? Hang on.
Solving the disinformation problem won't cure all that.
Solving the disinformation problem. Do you know what that means? Solving the disinformation problem? That means censorship, silencing dissenters, critics, prosecuting Julian Assange, Chelsea Manning, who he tortured. Barack Obama is a torturer and a war criminal. And he's talking about lies? And yes, he is, of course.
He's talking about the final solution for free speech.
That's right. That's what he's talking about.
Ails our democracies or tears at the fabric of our world. But it can help tamp down divisions and let us rebuild the trust and solidarity needed.
Obama laid.
So listen to what he's saying. He's saying the way we rebuild trust is censor dissenting voices we don't like. That's how we rebuild trust. Do you see how pretty he makes fascism and authoritarianism sound? No, I've heard.
He's just saying it.
He's just saying it.
Plainly saying the wow.
He's not fucking around. Let's see. Let's back this up and hear it again.
Help tamp down divisions of our world. But it can help tamp down divisions.
It's united. Censorship brings people together. What do you want to do? You want to love your neighbor? Then censor his speech. That's what brings people together. Gets rid of division. What?
I mean, don't get rid of all the division. How are we going to keep control without the divisions?
So that's his pretend. Oh, I don't want to have division. How do we get rid of division? Censor people.
By you shutting up.
Yes.
Then we won't be divided.
And let us rebuild the trust and solidarity needed.
Obama laid out how he believes social media algorithms designed to maximize engagement and keep people hooked are contributing to a crisis in democracy.
And unfortunately,
yeah, there wasn't a crisis in democracy before. It was fun. That's why we elected a game show host con man. That's why, because there wasn't a crisis. That's why black people fucking wouldn't vote for you anymore, douchebag. That's why black people wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton, because they've had enough of your shit. But no, there wasn't a crisis in democracy. It can't be because the fucking establishment has screwed people so hard they can't afford to get sick, they don't have a living wage, and they can't go to college without being in debt for the rest of their life, and now nobody can afford a house. That's not a crisis of democracy where 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck, 50% of all wage earners earn $30,000 or less, and 50% of people are poor or low income. What do you call? You call that a failed system? But he wants you to think it's because of fucking Twitter. And not because of him and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and George Bush and Dick Cheney. That's who it's because of. Not because of fucking tweets. But they got to censor your tweets because they don't want to hear people say shit like I'm saying right now.
Listen, it won't solve the crisis to do the censorship, but it will make it so you don't hear about it.
That's right.
Turns out that inflammatory, polarizing content attracts and engages.
You mean inflammatory, polarizing content like we need to go to war in Ukraine, we need to go to war in Syria, we need to go to war in Libya, we need to go to war in Afghanistan, we need to go to war in Iraq, we need to go to war in Somalia, we need to go fucking bomb Yemen. You mean polarizing content like that? You mean like that? Or saying that the president is actually a traitor to our country and in bed with our foreign leader? You mean that kind of a thing? You mean that our country that another country committed you mean that kind of polarizing language? Or is it a different, it's the kind you don't like?
Well, I think he means more unifying language would just be better. You know, like hearing about someone threw a baby on the floor. We all can get behind that we're against it, and we can do what has to be done.
Other features of these platforms have compounded the problem. For example, the way content looks on your phone, as well as the veil of anonymity that platforms provide their users, a lot of times can make it impossible to tell the difference between, say, a peer-reviewed article by Dr. Anthony Fauci and a miracle cure being pitched by a huckster.
Often they're the same. Usually it's Dr. Fauci who's the huckster pushing a bullshit drug. If you look at the AIDS crisis and how he handled that, that was exactly what you just called. Dr. Fauci is the quack and the liar, and we've revealed him to be a pathological liar at the show. What do you mean? What has Fauci lied about? Well, he lied about gain of function. He lied about the origin of the virus. What do you mean he lied about the origin of the virus? He said that it was a conspiracy theory to say that the virus came from a lab. Turns out, now we know that he knew he was lying when he said that, and he was just trying to smear other people who were actually telling the truth. So that kind of a lie. He also lied and said masks didn't work, so you shouldn't buy one. Why? Because he wanted it to go to healthcare professionals. So you went out, you got sick and died. He said, I lied about that. He also lied about herd immunity. He also lied about funding gain of function. He also lied about natural immunity. Is there anything that Dr. Fauci hasn't lied about? Lied about ivermectin. So Dr. Fauci is the scammer who should be in prison, as we've proven. And so this is Barack Obama saying the government is the truth teller. And we have to silence people who criticize the government. That's what he's saying.
People are dying because of misinformation.
You mean like in the Iraq war, the Libya war, your drone program, the Afghanistan war, Syria, and now Ukraine? Or how about Venezuela? We could go on and on forever. Yemen, Somalia. You mean people are dying like that? How about your drone program that killed 90% innocent people? You mean people are dying like that? And the guy who revealed that drone program kills 90% of the people. Guess where he is? He's in prison. So it's not the lies that they're afraid of. It's the truth. Don't ever fucking forget that. They're not upset that Elon Musk is going to allow lies on Twitter. They're upset that he's going to allow the truth. And he's not here to censor lies. Barack Obama is here to make you happy about censoring the truth and dissent. And if you don't think that, you're a fucking sucker.
I said it is time for social media companies to step up.
For more and more of us, search and social media platforms aren't just our window into the internet. They serve as our primary source of news and information.
And not me. I get, top secret briefings and things like that. But you idiots.
You idiots have to rely on the corporate media that is owned by 6 companies, thanks to Bill Clinton. 6 companies control every newspaper, every magazine, every TV show, every radio show, every cable show that you see is owned by 6 companies. And he wants to have even more control over the discourse than that. 70% of people get their news from Google or Facebook. 70%. You don't think that that's a danger to have that kind of information control in the hand of 2 monopolies? He doesn't. He wants more control.
Well, that's why it has to be monopolies that will work with the government and do what we say.
That's right.
He's trying to help.
Exactly the opposite, that the government does what the monopoly says.
Yeah, right.
No one tells us that the window is blurred, subject to unseen distortions and subtle manipulations.
And I'll put them in prison
Social
if they
media
do.
companies already make choices about what is or is not allowed on their platforms and how that content appears.
So because they already do it, let's keep doing it and do more of it.
It's been working great.
That's like saying
love it.
People are already shoplifting. Why don't we just make it more they could shoplift? People are already doing a bad thing. But he makes it sound like a good thing because they're already doing it. We've already accepted this encroachment on our freedom and liberty. So that's what he's saying.
Why didn't he say that about weed?
Right?
What everything but weed.
Everything.
You think that should be legal? No, he was giggling. No, I don't.
Both explicitly through content moderation and implicitly through algorithms. The problem is we often don't know what principles govern those decisions. And so
yeah, he's not advocating for open source. That's not what he's advocating for.
And that will continue to be a problem. No one's not talking about that.
Yeah.
I just want you to shut up.
Yeah.
cases, industry standards may replace or substitute for regulation, but regulation has to be part of the answer.
Regulation of free speech. Regulation of free speech. Not, hey, if you break the First Amendment law about free speech, the government should do something. That's the only time. Not if you contradict the CDC or Fauci or another government bureaucrat or anybody. That should not be the grounds that you should be censored. But that's what he wants. That's the case that we have today. I'm not allowed to contradict something that the CDC or the FDA or Fauci says and says it definitively. And if I do, they'll take down my channel. So just who are you not allowed to criticize? That's who your masters are, whatever that quote is. And who is that? That's Big Pharma.
Beyond that, tech companies need to be more transparent about how they operate.
Yeah.
So
that's not truthful. He does not want that he wants a secret algorithm, which they have, to censor people, shadow ban people, and boost others.
He means open to them, the government.
That's right.
That's what they mean.
Citizens, we have to take it upon ourselves
to censor other people.
Consumers of news.
Oh, okay.
Looking at sources, thinking before we share, and teaching our kids to become.
You said you wanted me to stop being.
No, that's what he wants to stop happening. He wants the government and the tech to do that for you. He wants them to critically look. He wants them to censor, and then he wants them to say this is safe.
I thought I should stop doing my own research.
Yeah, that's what I was told. We shouldn't do our own research because of the vaccines. And that was stupid. He's saying you should do your own research and you should be a critical thinker. Well, how can I be a critical thinker if all the information I'm allowed to see has already been censored and made safe for me?
Remind me to ask Rick Overton why he invented that Overton window. I don't think it's a good thing.
Okay.
Who know how to evaluate sources and separate opinion from fact.
So he's pretending that he wants you to have the responsibility. But the whole point of this speech is he wants government to have that responsibility. Barack Obama is not your free speech ally. He's your free speech enemy, just like he was your enemy when you wanted health care, just like he was your enemy when you wanted to end the wars, or you wanted a living wage, or you wanted good schools or a college, anything. But he's a nice guy. He's charming. He's a nice guy. He's charming. And so that's why he's the face of evil and the oligarchy and establishment. He's there to stop workers' progress. He's there to stop freedom and liberty. He's there to keep you supporting the oligarchy. Let's see if there's anything else. So Caitlin Johnstone says, we need to stop fascism. So let's give massive sweeping powers to an elite alliance of unelected authoritarians. How we think about internet law today. We have to let a warlord control the road. Otherwise, he won't be able to stop bank robbers from using it. That's how we think about it. How we should think about the internet law. Everybody gets to use the road and bank robbery is illegal. That's from Matt Stoller. That's exactly right. As Caitlin Johnstone says, this isn't about tolerance. It's about trusting government-tied tech oligarchs to regulate speech around the world on monopolistic speech platforms. All of the most critical factors determining what people's lives are invisible now. The most critical factors determining what people's lives are like are invisible now. Most people don't even know they're happening. Oligarchy, neoliberalism, imperialism used to be you knew who the king was, and he'd openly do anything he wanted. Now that's all kept carefully hidden. What they want? Free speech is too dangerous for the former president. So they said we're just gonna do it to Alex Jones. And then we're just going to do it to that one Kennedy that used to be an environmental hero we don't like now because he's telling the truth about Big Pharma. Oh, it's just going to be some assholes on Facebook. Oh, it's just going to be those doctors. Oh, it's just going to be that one doctor or those other doctors or those groups of doctors or the Barrington Declaration. Or it's going to be those scientists or those groups of scientists. Or it's going to be that comedian or that other podcast. It just turns out it's going to be fucking everybody. Everybody needs a little censorship to be a good person.
It's only going to be Nazi. It's only going to be like the Azov battalion will be the last.
That's right.
People, only Nazis will be able to speak.
Even the New York Times says, in pulling Trump's megaphone, Twitter shows where the power now lies. The ability of a handful of people to control our public discourse has never been more obvious. That's the New York fucking Times, owned by billionaires, saying that.
Well, was it like a celebration article?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yes. They're saying that as a good thing.
Thank God.
Here's what's not censored. You want to know? Here's what's not censored. They thought that the fake chemical attack in Syria, this is how CNN covered it.
And there's definitely something that stings. That's how the kids' minds. And there's definitely something that stings.
So if you thought there was deadly gas on a backpack, let me sniff it. Let me sniff it.
It stings.
It stings. It smells like a false flag.
Oh, that poison gas stings.
So these are the lies that will never. That poison gas sure does sting. These are the lies that will never be censored. CNN will never be censored for their lies pro-war, nor MSNBC or ABC or anybody, or the New York Times or the Washington Post, and they all print huge lies about every war. Okay. Way to go, Barack Obama. Still enemy of the people and the Santa Claus.
Well, you didn't watch his Netflix show, so
I know.
Now you get what you asked for.
You want to know a real lie? The World Health Organization just explicitly made clear that universal health care is an effective way to stem the spread of coronavirus. Joe Biden has been lying about this repeatedly, trying to claim it doesn't help. Isn't that a lie, Barack Obama? But that would never be. So again, the biggest lies come from government, corporate media, and third come from random jagoffs on Twitter.
Jimmy,
hey, by the way, can I show you this, Kurt? Surgeon General wants you to stop buying masks to protect yourself from coronavirus. They are not effective. So if I would have said the opposite, Barack Obama would have me censored and kicked off social media.
Well, Jimmy, you have to think of it this way. Spreading misinformation is like flying in a private jet, you know? Like only Obama gets to fly in it. And yeah, it pollutes, but it's not going to ruin the whole environment because very few people can fly in a private jet. Now imagine if we all got to do that. Then the earth would melt.
That's right.
So you stay on the ground breathing in fumes and I'll be spewing the gas up here in the sky where the good people live.
How come the Surgeon General didn't get censored? How come I didn't hear people screaming about the Surgeon General being censored over this? Did the Surgeon General lose the Surgeon General's Twitter account or Facebook or Instagram? No. Or YouTube?
This is 2020.
That was from 2020.
That's when Fauci said it.
That's right.
Fauci is your compass. Do you not have a Fauci compass?
Here. Well, here's Fauci. Now, if you disagree with Fauci, they'll take my YouTube channel down and you get kicked off Twitter. Watch.
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask, and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course. But when you...
Sanjay Gupta tells Joe Rogan that CNN shouldn't have called ivermectin a horse dewormer. So would that lie get censored? No, it wouldn't. You're still allowed to say that on Twitter, YouTube, and everywhere. You're still allowed to lie like that. By the way, here's what CNN did. When Joe Rogan got coronavirus, that's his real picture. They colored it to make him look sicker. That would never get censored either. So again, the biggest liars are corporate media that's funded by Big Pharma, the military-industrial complex, fossil fuel companies, and Wall Street. Those are the liars.
Well,
it's not fucking this guy, but they did this and they never had to pay a price for it. Go ahead, Kurt.
PolitiFact recently debunked my eyes.
Yes.
So that's why I know.
That's right. So PolitiFact said that this didn't happen. They said that this was not colored.
There's no evidence.
Here's Chris Cuomo airs moment he could finally emerge from his basement a week after leaving his basement. So that's not censored. Those people aren't going to be censored. CNN will never be called fake news by Barack Obama. He won't say that he's equivalent to Putin or Steve Bannon or Trump, even though he is.
Boy, he really was a classic lies of a bygone area where, he'd harass you and then support me too. Meanwhile, Trump would just be grabbing by the pussy. Terrible what society's become.
I like this tweet. It says, if someone says the sky is yellow, I think they're nuts. But when big tech tries to censor the guy for saying the sky is yellow, I start to think that he may be onto something.
Yeah, I stopped believing in aliens when they declared UFOs were real.
That's right.
No, what do you go up to?
Okay. Now you know the rest of the story. We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorcomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.